And I remember, Lord, it was like 6 years ago when I ran for mayor, and people are going, why in the hell are you running for mayor? You know, we only pay y'all $250 a month before taxes. And then they take out my active membership from that, so it's like $230 a month before taxes. And why are you doing this? Because it's a full-time job. And I'm doing it because I did then, and I do so more now. I really, really love this community. I heard that my opponent had this meet and greet, and they were talking about his wife would be a wonderful first lady. Well, folks, I don't have a first lady. I don't have one to sort of parade out there and say, I have a wonderful first lady. I have nothing like that. It's just me. And, but I can tell you that there's nobody that's going to love this community more. I have 4 kids and 6 grandkids. Some of y'all have heard this story before, but you're going to have to suffer through it again. One of my kids, my 36-year-old son, has cerebral palsy. He is mentally fine. He can speak, he can do all kinds of stuff, but he is very short and he's crooked. He's had multiple back surgeries, hip surgeries, knee surgeries, leg surgeries. He's short and crooked. Hey, what the hell y'all doing back there? Did Moose tell you to do that? See what kind of mayor I am? Man. Anyway, he's short and crooked, and my son grows up going to places like Creative Arts Theater up on Randall Mill Road, Theater Arlington. He went to AISD, graduated from Lamar High School, did the drama stuff up there, did Casa Manana in Fort Worth. And as he's growing up, he's telling me, Dad, I'm going to be an actor. And I'm like, can we work on plan B? Because being an actor is hard enough for an able-bodied person, but you're short and crooked. Can we find another path? Work on something else? Well, thank goodness my son didn't listen to me, and he kept pursuing his dreams. COVID hits, and he ends up auditioning for a show that's streaming supposedly online somewhere via Zoom. And they can't see that he is short and crooked. So they hired him. And he shows up, and they were a little bit concerned about it, but they kept him anyway, and then they started to write scripts around his disability. That show became one of the most popular shows on TV. It was picked up by Paramount and bought out by Netflix. He signed a 7-year, multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix. It's a show called The Chosen about the life of Christ. And my son plays Little James, and because of that, he was also offered a gig on every episode of Taylor Sheridan's 1883. He's been in Black Panther 2. He writes and directs and produces, and he does all kinds of stuff now. But here's the reason I ran for mayor. When his dad, me, would say, let's work on plan B, this community at Creative Arts Theater and Theater Arlington and AISD gave my son the strength, the courage, and the confidence to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And I appreciate that. Where I failed, in my opinion, where I should have been going, son, you can do this, my community did that. When COVID hit and my restaurant shut down, it was this community that came back full-fledged to build my restaurant back up. So when I had an opportunity to step up and run, that's what I did. And it's been one of the most rewarding experiences I could ever possibly imagine. Do I work my tail off on it? Yeah. Is it a pain in the butt sometimes? Yeah, it it is, but I wouldn't trade any of it for anything. When I first ran for mayor, I wanted to create a thriving Arlington, and to be candid, I wasn't really sure what that truly meant. But I knew that if it was a business type of thing, the only way you could be thriving is to do job creation. So I started to think about how do we create jobs, and like any other profession, I'm a lawyer, I know Kelly is a lawyer, we have a bunch of people that have professions all over. With any other profession, you can be the best at what you are, but if you have no idea how to develop or nurture relationships, you're not worth anything. You're never gonna be as good as you're gonna be at that particular profession. So I said, let's work on job creation. And the way we did that was we began a collaborative effort with our Economic Development Corporation, our Office of Economic Development, our Department for Strategic Planning, and our City Council. We have some City Council here. I saw Barbara, she's over here. Will y'all thank Barbara? She's about to turn out. Barbara is our Mayor Pro Tem, and I could not have a better mentor, a better friend, a better companion on the City Council than Barbara Odom Wesley. She is a chip off the old block from Mayor Odom, and we just love her, and she has been a true blessing. So anyway, Barbara's about to term out on stuff, and we have races coming in there, but we started to collaborate and looking at stuff, and what we started to do was not look at individual projects, we looked at relationships. The projects will come if you develop the right relationships. And here's what I'm talking about. We just did the Grand Prix of Arlington. Did y'all see that? I met with Roger Penske and Jerry Jones, and Roger told me, he goes, Mayor, this was the absolute best inaugural Grand Prix that IndyCar has seen anywhere in the world. Wow. Anywhere in the world. In his words, not mine, he says, if you give me 5 years, we'll make this bigger than Indy 500. Wow. He says, wow. It is that good. The track is that good. The audience is that good. The spectators are that good. It was phenomenal. The reason we were able to get the Grand Prix of Arlington isn't because we went out and shopped the Grand Prix of Arlington. The reason we got the Grand Prix is because Arlington developed 54 years ago with Tommy Vandergriff. We started a relationship with the Texas Rangers. And we kept the Rangers here for 54 years. In spite of other cities trying to take them, we kept them here. We got the Cowboys here, and the Cowboys and the Rangers got with Roger Penske, and they kept Roger Penske going, and Roger Penske came here with the Grand Prix of Arlington. By the way, it was not the Grand Prix of Dallas. Did y'all know that? It was the Grand Prix of Arlington. That's because we focus on relationships, not projects. The Arlington Board of Realtors recognize that, and that's why before anybody else jumped in on stuff, they endorsed me as their candidate for mayor because they know how important relationships truly are, and I appreciate that endorsement. So we are rocking and rolling with relationships, and let me give you a quick war story about that. I've had a candidate running around in the mayor race talking about we did this horrible deal with this company called eSpace. Well, if they think a deal with eSpace is horrible, they have no idea what they're talking about, because eSpace is the low orbit satellite manufacturer that has been contracted with the government to build the Golden Dome that this administration is wanting to build. And we're doing it here in Arlington with nearly 500,000 square foot of manufacturing space right here, bringing thousands and thousands of jobs to Arlington. And I'm not talking entry-level jobs. I'm talking jobs that are making $250,000 a year or more with all of their engineers. It's absolutely incredible. So the eSpace CEO calls me one night at 10:30 at night and says, Jim, we're supposed to close the deal the next morning on our deal with eSpace. He says, Jim, he says, I just got a phone call from a competing city that's put twice the amount of money on the table that Arlington has put. And he goes, I have to take this to my board. What do I tell my board to keep them in Arlington? His name's Greg Weiler. He's become a good friend of mine. I said, Greg, you tell your board that when you came to Arlington a year and a half, 2 years ago, and you said, here's what we need to make this happen, and here's the timetable, that we were the only city that answered the call. We were the only city that shared your vision. We were the only city that shared your passion. We were the only city that got it the way you got it. And we made it happen. Now, do you want to get in a business relationship with a city that lies behind the log and waits and tries to undercut somebody at the last minute? Or do you want to be in bed with the city that stepped up at the beginning and say, we get what you want? That was at 10:30 at night. It took about 30 minutes to have this phone call. I go to sleep, barely. Because now I'm worried. I'm trying to think, do I call Trey? I gotta call Trey. I don't want to call Trey. No, you gotta call Trey. And I'm like fighting with myself, like, don't call Trey. Trey's gonna die. You gotta do this. But I called Trey and I said, Trey, you're not gonna believe this conversation. 2:30 in the morning, the phone rings. And it's the CEO. He goes, Jim, we just had an emergency board meeting. We're staying in Arlington. They stayed in Arlington because of relationships. Not because we gave them more money than the other city was willing to ante up. Because of relationships. And relationships make the world go round. That's how, between then and now, I can report that since I first took office, we have created nearly 30,000 new jobs in Arlington. 30,000 new jobs. We have increased the average salary in Arlington by more than 20%, and we have added 13 new North American or world headquarters who now call Arlington home. That has been unprecedented. Nobody has touched that before. And that is where relationships will take us. But now to get those type of 13 businesses, those world headquarters to come to Arlington, they're only going to come here if you have a good, safe community. And I'm going to be candid with y'all because I don't know any other way to do this. When I took office, I inherited horrible relationships between City Hall and the police and fire. The firefighters had sued the city of Arlington. We had won at the first level on a summary judgment, and it was appealed, and the firefighters won on appeal. You know what they won on? Retaliation. Because what they were told was if you go civil service, we're going to pull your benefits. And when the firefighters went civil service, the city of Arlington pulled their benefits. And the firefighters sued the city, and they were upheld on the retaliation claim. The police department, and Jesse's here, he's the APA president right there, he will tell you, thank you, Jesse, he will tell you that the police department struggled with meet and confer with the city. They couldn't get the stuff accomplished that they needed to be accomplished. And one of the first things that me and Barbara and the rest of the council were able to do was, first of all, we settled the damn lawsuit, we gave them their benefits back, and we mended the fence with first responders, because you cannot recruit new business if you get sued by the people who are protecting this city. You just can't do that. That makes zero sense whatsoever. So that's why the police and the fire union and association have endorsed me for the third race. started to beef up then our police and fire, and we started to do some really incredible things with police and fire. First of all, previously, we only had 3-man staffing in fire. And the International Firefighter Code requires 4 men to be able to fight a fire. And we didn't have 4 men on a squad, so we were able to beef up our fire department and start running with 4-man squads. What that meant was faster response time, being able to get in and do rescues faster, and immediately protect our firefighters and save more lives. We implemented a whole blood program with the fire department, which means we are the only city anywhere in the country that allows our fire department to administer blood at the scene of an accident. Since that has happened in the last 6 months, we have saved over 25 lives. Since that happened, 25 lives. If we saved 1 life, it would have been worth it. Our police department, we were able to do all kinds of crazy things. First of all, Arlington is the only city in the country that allows their aviation department to fly drones without line of sight. You say, wait a minute, we have an aviation department? We have a very robust aviation department. We have pilots that sit in control rooms and they fly drones. And when I say fly drones, they will send a drone out. You get a shooting, and they'll send a drone out to get there before the police car gets there, before the police officer gets there, and the pilot can direct the police officer where to go to apprehend the guy that's fleeing on foot. That's some crazy cool stuff. Our police department has partnered up with the graduate program at UTA in the criminology department on the cold case files, and they are solving case after case after case on cold cases, utilizing our UTA graduate students to help solve these cases. That type of collaboration doesn't happen everywhere. Our response time for 911 calls, no matter whether it's criminal or fire, has rapidly decreased. And here's the key thing. The facts really matter. Arlington now is listed by the Hill publication as the 2nd safest city in Texas and the 7th safest city in the United States. Every year for the last 5 years, our crime has decreased in Arlington, and last year alone, our overall crime has decreased by more than 12%. We are on the right path. So when people stand before others and they say that we're not doing things right, we're not protecting our city, they don't know what they're talking about at all. We are protecting our city, we are responding faster. Not only are we protecting our city, but we're taking care of those who are protecting our city. And we have a relationship with our police and fire now like never before. Jesse will tell you, I'll go to the police now, and I said, hey, how's meet and confer going? Well, pretty good, Mayor. We didn't have anything to talk about. Am I right?
We're skipping the meeting this month.
We're skipping the meeting this month because the relationship is so good, they don't have anything to bitch about. Now that is success. Managing a nearly $800 million budget is difficult in most situations, and our budget has now increased to nearly $800 million. Last year was exceptionally difficult. My opponent likes to make a big deal out of the fact that they raised property taxes 3 cents. You're right, we absolutely did. Because we had a $26 million shortfall in our budget last year. Not because of something Arlington did, because let me tell you, here's where it really matters. Wallet Hub has listed Arlington as the best run city in North Texas, the 2nd best run city in the state of Texas. Now, we're second only to Lubbock. I think there was some Red Raiders on it. I don't know how in the world Lubbock got ahead of us, but we have our act together. The state comptroller's office gives Arlington all 6 stars of transparency when it comes to financial reporting. There's only 11 cities in the state of Texas, and we are the largest that gets all 6 stars. Nobody else gets stuff like that. We are the we are the triple crown winner when it comes to the Association of Financial Accountants and all of the city government stuff, because we have our act together. And if you don't believe it, look at the credit ratings for the city of Arlington. All the big credit rating companies like Fitch, like Moody's, like S&P give Arlington top grades across the board because we got our act together. We had an anomaly that happened last year when TAD stopped appraising properties. When TAD started giving very, very conservative values on appeals and on property appraisals that they had done. Tarrant County started appraising properties at 10% less than comparable properties in all of the surrounding communities around us. When you appraise a property 10% less than comparable properties around us, you're taking money right out of the pockets of the school district and of the cities that they're feeding the monies to. And it's making the rest of us from AISD to the city of Arlington struggle on it. Brooklyn's nodding her head at me because she knows what I'm talking about. But that is the crazy stuff that we had to deal with. What people have a tendency to forget was 3 years ago, we gave the largest property tax cut in 30 years of Arlington history. Now, property taxes are about the same as they were when I left the police department in 1996. So they do this all through there, but it wasn't something crazy. Are we going to have that again next year? Absolutely not. Because the stuff that we weren't able to account for, we now can account for because they can't surprise us anymore on it. Here's the bottom line is we have our act together. And just don't take Jim Ross's word for it. Don't take Barbara Odom Wesley's word for it. Look at what the statistics show you, and the statistics show you that we truly are phenomenal when it comes to economic growth, when it comes to financial responsibility, when it comes to taking care of business. Right now, we're on center stage for the world. I mean, we have it going on like we've never had it happening before. The Grand Prix of Arlington just came. We have 9 games of the World Cup coming here this summer. That's 9 Super Bowls or more in a 30-day period. An estimated $2.2 billion of economic impact in North Texas. Now, I heard the other day at the Republican Forum, my opponent say, well, I'm not going to be running around staying in fancy hotels all over the world and everything. Let me tell y'all something. You're right. I went to a fancy hotel in Doha, Qatar. Anybody care to guess why I was in Doha? Because Doha hosted the last FIFA games. And I was meeting with the Doha FIFA officials and talking about what they're doing. And guess who also visited Arlington to help our police department in FIFA preparations? Because relationships matter. It's not about gallivanting the world. It's about doing what you're supposed to do as mayor and getting off your ass and going to the places to get things done. Can you tell I'm a little bit tired of the attacks? I get a little frustrated today because now my opponent, or better yet, the people who are pushing him to run, filed an ethics complaint on me today of 132 pages. This is the type of crap we're dealing with, and I'm tired of it.
Really?
I'm absolutely tired of it. We are better than that in Arlington. And this is the stuff that has been going on and on and on and on. And I'm sick and tired of this stuff. Here's the ethics complaint. City employees took pictures of me when I was doing a ribbon cutting for for the city of Arlington. And they sent me those pictures via text message. I ended up, now that I have a picture, I put that on social media. Now I've been accused of inappropriately using city funds to finance my campaign.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's the stuff we're dealing with. You can't attack what's happening in Arlington, so you attack me. I'm okay. This looks like I'm overweight. I'm not. It's thick skin. All right? It's okay. But I'm telling you, in all honesty, this is not the time to change course. We have momentum going like crazy. We have companies pounding on our door to try to come to Arlington. We have job creation. We have a safe community. We have economic development. We are on the world stage with everything from FIFA to the Grand Prix to the Lone Star Cook-Off to the Texas Rangers on a winning streak at the beginning of the season right now. We have everything going right for us, except for one thing. We don't have a mayor who will kiss the ring and be someone's puppet. So I got news for y'all. I am not kissing the ring, and I am not someone's puppet. I'm going to continue to do what I think is right for Arlington. And I'll tell you this, I need your help to do it. I've got to have votes. I've got to have energy. I've got to have you telling your neighbors about this stuff. I've got to have clarification when people are saying, well, I heard Mayor Ross is giving favors to his girlfriend. Folks, I don't have a first lady. All right? I don't even have a girlfriend anymore thanks to this campaign. That's okay. I know, y'all give a little, oh. Pastor, pray for a damn girlfriend. Can I say that? Listen, I'm a little bit nutty, but y'all like to be, all right? I was asked the other day what I want my legacy to be. All I really care about, in all honesty, is when I'm done, that y'all have no doubt how much I love this community. I could care less about anything else that goes on. You don't need to say Jim did this or Jim did that. If you can just say he loved this community, I'm going to be a happy boy. I promise you that. So I'm going to continue to bust my butt. I am not a perfect mayor. I have my fair share of blemishes, but here's the deal. I will own all of my blemishes with y'all. I don't care. I'll own it. I'll own it with y'all because I know how y'all are. Y'all don't care either. You take us for who we are. We're the most diverse city in Texas. We're the third most diverse city in the country. And we're the most diverse because we're the most loving, we're the most welcoming. We really don't care what you look like, how you vote, who you worship, how you worship, who you love, how you love. We care about whether or not you're treating your neighbor with dignity and respect. So I have one big ask of y'all, aside from voting and telling everybody about that. My opponent has something I don't. Money. They have unlimited funds, essentially. They back. And have you seen the ads saying Jim Ross is for apartments in Arlington and all that stuff? Let me tell y'all, you want to know what really happened? Can I just be candid? When I first became mayor, here's what happened. I was approached by my predecessor that said, Jim, we have a developer for 40 acres north of I-30 between Collins and Center Street. And I said, oh, okay, who is it? He says, it's Greenway Construction. And I said, isn't Greenway the ones that did Champions Park up there at Collins and Lamar? Or Collins and I-30? And he says, yeah. And I said, well, that's a horrible development. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The back of the stores all face Collins Street, and it's 1/3 developed, it's not finished out there.
And it's all parking.
I said, well, that's horrible. He goes, oh no, they're really good, you need to listen to them. And I said, all right, we'll bring them in. So my predecessor came in with the guy who is now my opponent, representing Moritz, who owned the other half of that property up there. And they came in and they laid out the blueprints. They laid out the renderings of what they wanted to do. They wanted to put 5 Texas Donut apartment complexes on that property north of I-30. And I was like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? We're not gonna put all of these apartments out there. So the ones that wanted to come in and benefit from putting apartments out there are now claiming that I'm the one that wants the apartments in Arlington.
Oh my goodness.
That is crazy. Now, I'm not on a moratorium against apartments, nor am I a guy that wants every apartment around the corner. I think we have to work at legitimate, affordable type housing in the right places at the right time. But I sure don't think we need to take the most valuable 40 acres in North Texas and put 5 apartment complexes on it that won't do anything for us but bring property tax. Especially when we have a state government that wants to take all of our property tax away from us.
Right.
So that's the truth of where my opponent is coming from. So don't believe the rhetoric of what's going on, because they're the ones that came and said, here's what we want to do. So I'm really tired of the rhetoric going on there. The gloves are coming off, but I need y'all's financial help to help fight this battle. And so thank y'all so much for coming out. I'll answer any questions you may have, and I'll stick around until the last person leaves. But anybody have any quick questions for me before I shut up?
Where do we go now?
Emily and Jim, can y'all raise your hands? Emily and Jim are right there. Those 2 people work on the campaign. Emily's been stuck with me for almost 10 years now. I think I hired her when she was 8 or something. She's 140 right now. She just looks younger. Thank God she puts up with me. Anyway, they can help with anything like that. They can give QR codes. They can give you websites. They can take checks, cash, firstborn. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. Some of y'all's firstborn I know, and maybe we don't. But any other questions from y'all?
Thank you, Mayor.
I love you. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for coming out.